Well, if I get enough people who like this kind of thing, I'm going to do a series on the secrets of survival. And this first blog I'm going to do is how to disappear and start to build a new life all over. Now, sometimes I hear about or read about a healthy person who commits suicide. Now, obviously, that is an irrational thing to do because everybody has troubles. It might be bullying, it might be having gotten caught doing something shameful. Well, this is a family video, so I won't say what that might be, but you can guess. It might be something shameful in the eyes of your family. In fact, if you're talking about people from Pakistan or a Muslim country, just dating or holding hands with a guy, if you're a woman, that can be so shameful that they do a, what do they call it? Killing. It's a special kind of killing. Well, anyway, it's to preserve the family honor because they caught the girl holding hands with somebody crazy. But here is the solution to all the problems: financial problems, legal problems. You're dumped by a lover, or it could be a serious problem. Maybe you've offended a representative of organized crime and he wants to kill you. Or more likely, it's an imaginary problem like ghosts or monsters that appear at night. But anyway, here is the cure. The cure for all your problems. How to disappear and start new. Okay. Well, the first thing is, many years ago, many years ago, there was an outfit, and still is, in California that publishes books on this very subject. Their most famous book is called The Paper Trip. And that book is all about establishing a new identity. And my personal addition is you take your new identity and you go to a different country where where nobody knows you. You know, even the great prophet Jesus said you can't be a prophet in your own hometown. Why? Because people know you. He's just a carpenter's son in his own hometown. Okay, so this Eden Press, who publishes the Paper Trip, they have a free catalog. And I'm going to pause on the picture long enough so that you can get their website and ask for the free catalog, which will be sent to you by return email. Okay? All right. Now, here's a story. When I was much younger, and I went to Thailand for the first time, in Phuket, and later in Bangkok itself, when I met bar owners, very often, well, I met about a dozen bar owners from California. They had Thai wives, they ran popular bars, but because of Thai law, they could not even be an employee in their own bar. So they were there physically sitting in a chair and running things, but the bar was in the wife's name. Well, I got into chit chat with these ex Hell's Angels, and I learned that every one of them had serious legal problems. And guess what? Every one of them had read the book I mentioned to you, Paper Trip. And so, what I learned from them, in most other countries outside of the USA, there is no special police force like what they call the American Migra that seeks out people without the right papers and then deports them. Well, in other countries, you can go there, basically work black for all your life, and if you blend in with the local population, you never have any trouble. So in a place like France, if you're African and you dress like a young Muslim radical, or you're carrying a knife or something, sure, you're always going to be interrogated by police. And if you don't have the proper papers, you're going to get deported. And in France, I know that if you're not wearing a motorcycle helmet, you'll be stopped, interrogated, and if you don't have the papers, you're uh, liable to get deported. So the first thing is blend in. Now, it doesn't matter what race you are, in a place like Brazil, you will blend in. Brazil has huge German colonies, Jewish, uh, Japanese, uh, everything you can name. And even if you don't have papers, nobody will ever ask for them. So Brazil is a great destination. And if you want to get legal, all you do is have a girlfriend, have a kid with the girlfriend, and as long as you are in Brazil uh, with your own kid and supporting that kid, you will never be deported because that's the law there. Okay. So now, if your problem back home is really serious, like somebody is after you to kill you or put you in jail, you actually must cut all old ties and contacts. You don't talk to them on the phone. You don't send them letters, and you hope that you'll never meet anybody from your old gang. At least somebody not reliable who turn you in. So you settle any place where you'll be most unlikely to meet somebody from your old life. Now, that's, of course, if you've done something seriously bad, so you might get, real trouble. Guess what my favorite place is? If you're a fugitive, Paraguay. It's corrupt enough that you can get the paperwork and even citizenship if you have the money to pay for it. So, uh, that is pretty much my story about how to disappear and start over. Now, a few little tidbits. If you want to change your name, it can be done in the USA. It's a little bit harder in the USA now. If you want a new name on your passport, you have to go to a court and file some papers. There's even an ad in a legal paper you have to take out. But then you will get a new passport in your new name, but it'll still show your old name in your first passport. But in another country like Great Britain or any former English colony, they have what they call a deed poll. You go to anyone like the equivalent of a notary public and you file a very simple paper, not even file, you just have a very simple paper that says I used to be called Joe Blow and now I'm going to be called Sam Sneed. And that paper is your name change, which you can use on everything from driver's licenses to passport and ID. So if you're a foreigner and not from an English speaking country, you can go to an English speaking country and file that, or I shouldn't say file, to make that deed poll, and you've legally changed your name. And sometimes your old country will recognize it, sometimes not. Where are other places to go? Well, if you're from America, the favorites are Mexico and Canada. And if you're European, you have a lot of choices, but Bulgaria in the EU won't bother you at all, will never deport you. And Serbia, right outside the EU, is another good place. Nobody will bother you there. You can get a job if you have no particular skill. Well, you could be a waiter, fast food cook, maybe a day laborer. It's always good to have a skill that is worth something or start your own business. Another thing you might want to do is find a girlfriend to get married, because if you're married, You always get the proper papers to live in a country. And these days, I should say that if you're a guy and you're not looking for a girlfriend, a suitable partner, a woke partner would be okay. So I think that covers it. Go to a place where nobody knows you, get a new name, a new identity, as is fully explained in the book, The Paper Trip, I recommended before. And if you have a little bit of money and you want to invest it, and you want nobody to be able to find out through your credit card or anything else who you are or where you are, you may find this book online. I think it's out of print now, but it's a book I actually wrote called The Invisible Investor. Here's a picture of it. And if you go to Amazon and look for The Invisible Investor, I bet you can get it for $1 or $2, used, of course. So that covers how to start a new life, and we'll see you in our next video.